Introducing the DRF Cash Grab app, the super easy, free-to-play sports predictor game from a name you know and trust, the Daily Racing Form. Use your sports knowledge to predict the winners, and you could score thousands of dollars in cash prizes. Pro football, college football, pro basketball, college basketball, hockey, soccer, boxing, baseball, and more. Compete against others for a spot on the monthly leaderboard. Download the DRF Cash Grab app and play today.
Welcome into DRF Daily, DRF Sportsbooks betting live stream, coming at you each and every day, or at least we try to come at you each and every day that we have sports on, specifically football. We were absent yesterday, and my apologies on that one. A little bit of a scheduling mix-up on my part. I did hand out some plays over on my personal Twitter at FitzAllTheWay, F-I-T-Z, all the way. You see it down there in the bottom left-hand side of the corner. I went 2-2 in those picks, but we're not counting those towards DRF Daily, even though I wish we could, because, man, we are struggling a little bit against football. I think I'm in the fade zone. But we handed out, and it was our first college basketball play of the season, handed out a plus 180 money line winner. Absolutely awesome. That was Iowa State taking down UNC. But today we have a loaded slate of NFL action. We have two best bets. We're doing a couple quick hitters. We're changing things up. We're doing quick hits, hitting some big-time plays on the 1 p.m. slate, hitting some big-time plays on the 4 p.m. slate, and then we're previewing a late game, and we're previewing the prime time game between the Eagles and the Packers. Some interesting spreads out there. And I think today's NFL slate, this is when the season really starts ratcheting up. If you're on the outside looking into the playoffs, it's like the playoffs start today for the Packers. They're in primetime. If they lose, they're not even in mathematically able to get into the playoffs. I think right now they have about a 14% chance to make the playoffs. If they lose tonight, it's looking tough. So we are going to start things off with our quick picks. However, if you're not already, follow us on social media at DRF Sportsbook. We greatly appreciate that. Wherever there's social media, we're right there with you, giving out exclusive betting angles, line movements, trends, everything to help you become profitable. And if you're in Iowa, it's a must follow. We're giving out promotions. We're giving out big time money. We're giving out everything you need to make your days even more profitable. We're Iowa's only local sportsbook. But don't worry, if you're anywhere else in the country, we give out exclusive industry-leading data that helps you make the right bet. So today's Sunday quick picks, we have 3 1 p.m. quick hits. We have 3 for the 4 p.m. slate. We're feeling good about that 4 p.m. slate. I can't wait for it to get here. And it's not just because my Seahawks are playing. It's because of all those games. They're all fantastic. And the NFC West is in action, which means by the end of it, Seattle could reclaim that number 1 spot in the NFC West, baby. All right, so 1 p.m. We're going Ravens minus 3.5 against the Jaguars. Ravens have only trailed this season for 62 total minutes, and I think they are much better than the Jacksonville Jaguars. To me, the Ravens are one of the best teams in the NFL. Their record doesn't say it, but they'll prove it today against Jacksonville. Jets minus 7 against the Bears. It's now official. Justin Fields is inactive. Justin Fields is not going. But even then, I think I'm leaning the Jets. They have something to prove. I think their backup quarterbacks at this moment in time, here on November 27th of 2022, their backups, whether it's Mike White or Joe Flacco, I believe Mike White is going today, but either one of those, they're better than Zach Wilson. And they're taking on a bad Bears team that only had Justin Fields going for it. They just activated Nathan Peterman from the practice squad. I don't think he's going, but he's going to be their second in line at quarterback here today. I think the Jets run all over the Bears and win that easily and win by 10, 11 points. Jets minus 7. Panthers plus 1.5 against the Broncos. Our computers think the Panthers should actually be favorites at home. That's happening just a mile away from where I'm talking to you guys right now. Russell Wilson, let's ride. Nope, we ain't riding today. Panthers are going to crush the Broncos. That defense is really good, and I think the Broncos, it's going to be a low-scoring game, but I think the Panthers can cover that. And if you want to sprinkle a little bit on Panthers' money line, I don't blame you. Let's have some fun. Panthers country, let's ride. 4 p.m. slate. Seahawks minus 4. They're getting back in the win column. They lost in Germany. They were on bye week last week. Now they're facing the lowly Raiders. Seahawks minus 4. Amazing play. And that's not just my bias showing. I think the Seahawks are the second best team in the NFC West, and they're in the top upper echelon of the NFC. Are they Super Bowl contenders? Probably not. but they are much better than the lowly Raiders, who are coached by a terrible coach in Josh McDaniels. I will say, if you want to target a prop for today, Davante Adams over 86.5 receiving yards is the play of the day. They're going to be without Darren Waller. They're without Hunter Renfrow. Both of those guys, I believe, are on IR. And the Seahawks secondary, while the Seahawks defense has taken a massive step forward since the early parts of the season, they got gashed big time on the ground. Mike Evans had himself a pretty solid day over there in Germany. I think Davante Adams, whoever he's matched up against, whether it's Tariq Woolen, Mike Jackson Sr., I believe Trey Brown was just activated, Kobe Bryant, all of those guys on the Seahawks secondary are able to get got. I think Davante Adams will have himself a good day. Chargers -3. The Cardinals are bad. The Cardinals are bad. And let me say that again. The Cardinals are bad. Cliff Kingsbury needs to be fired. Kyler Murray needs to be traded. The Cardinals need to blow it all up. And the Chargers aren't terrible. I mean, their offensive coordinator is, but the offense has talent. Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, they're getting healthy. They're coming back. And with that, I think the Chargers run all over the Arizona Cardinals. Cardinals are 0-9 against the spread in the second half of the season since the start of 2020 at home. That's not a good stat to have, and I believe they've lost 17 of their last 21 games straight up. Give me the Chargers -3. They easily win that game. And Saints +9.5. I think this line's exactly where it is. If the 49ers win, though, I think it's going to be about a touchdown. The Saints defense isn't terrible, slightly above average. They might be able to slow down the 49ers. I don't have full faith that Jimmy Garoppolo's career outings continue against New Orleans. He might throw a couple bad interceptions. Now, can the Saints move the ball? That's the question. But I don't think the 49ers are ever going to pull away and win by double digits. And at Saints +9.5, I got to take that. And plus, that might be a little bit of my bias showing. I need the 49ers to lose. I need the 49ers to drop one here. But that's our Sunday quick picks. And now let's break down our best bets, what we have circled, what we have multiple units on, what we're feeling the most confident about, folks. Rams, Chiefs. It's in Arrowhead. Chiefs are massive favorites. Double-digit favorites have not fared well this season at all. And the Rams, now they're bad. They're 3-7. They're not one of the best teams in the NFL. But are they 15.5 points worse than the Kansas City Chiefs? Are they 16 points worse than the Kansas City Chiefs? I don't think so. The Rams do have a -6 point differential with one of the tougher schedules in the NFL. And I'm not making excuses for the Rams. They are going to be without Matthew Stafford. They're going to be without Allen Robinson, and Tyler Higbee is questionable for this game. So they're without some major weapons, and Matthew Stafford's the biggest. This is a Rams offense that is 31st in the NFL in rushing, in yards per game. The Rams average just 3.4 yards per carry. They have only averaged 76 yards per game. That's the worst. The only team that's worse than that is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and we've talked at length on DRF Daily about the Bucs' inability to run the ball. And then finally, again, we won't break down the Germany game. This is the largest spread of the season for both teams in either way. The Chiefs, though, when they are favored by 10.5 points or more since the start of 2020, they're 3-5 against the spread. And when they're double-digit favorites this season, they're 0-1 against the spread. The wheels, though, have come all the way off. If the Chiefs are going to cover a game this large, it's going to be this one. The Chiefs are going to stop the run like every team has against the Rams, considering they have no good offensive linemen. They have no good running backs. The Rams are going to struggle to move the ball, which is why the total is 42, right? And there's not even a money line available for this game. The total is 42, but you got to think then the Rams aren't going to score anything then. I mean, if the Chiefs put up 30 and the Rams just put up 15, you didn't get the cover and the over hit. And that's why I'm on the Rams. I think the Chiefs are a much better team. I think they win by 2 touchdowns. I don't think they win by 17. And you're trying to start crunching the numbers. Well, they could hit 5 field. No, that's not going to work. They're going to have to win by 14. Well, that's not going to work. If they kick a field goal, then it's 7. But then I think a garbage time. I just don't see a route in which the Chiefs are able to win by such a large number. Our power line likes the Chiefs at -14. Our game simulator estimate number 1 likes the Chiefs to win by 11. Game simulator number 2 likes the Rams to lose by only 9. All of those show that there is just no value in the Chiefs here at -15.5. Chiefs, though, and it's funny, the Chiefs are one of the best rush defenses in the NFL, thanks to Chris Jones, thanks to the interior of that defensive line. They only allow 100 yards per game, which is 5th best in the NFL. But it's hilarious because they could honestly have one of the worst rushing defenses in the NFL, and the Rams still wouldn't be able to move it. Rams will have to pass a lot. They average 6.7 yards per completion, but with no Robinson, like I said, no Tyler Higbee, and no Matthew Stafford, it's going to be interesting to see. That's the only thing that makes me kind of worry, the fact that there is no Matthew Stafford. But the Sharps, well, they're all over the Chiefs. It opened at -14.5, and it's now -15.5. So the Sharp, the money, the action there going in on the Chiefs, as the public is all over the Rams at +15.5. But like I said, double-digit favorites have not been successful this season. I believe there's something like 5-10. They aren't looking good against the spread. They have a losing record against the spread, and the Chiefs have a losing record since the start of 2020 as double-digit favorites, and they're 0-1 this season as double-digit favorites. So give me Los Angeles to cover. They're not going to look good. They have no shot at winning this game, in my humble opinion, but I just don't see a route in which the Chiefs can win this game by 16 points. Can they win by 2 touchdowns? Hell yeah. Can they win by 17 points? Probably not. There's a lot of time in a football game. There's some garbage time, and these are 2 professional teams. The Rams +15.5 are a big time play for me here today. Packers, Eagles. Eagles -6.5 against the Green Bay Packers. Look, I'm going to look into the camera here, and I'm going to talk to Las Vegas. Vegas, stop loving the Packers. Get off of Aaron Rodgers. He's not good this season. The Green Bay Packers stink. They've lost 6 of their last 7. They have not looked good, and they should have lost all 7 if it wasn't for a wacko fluke play call by the Dallas Cowboys that couldn't get them a first down. Whatever it was, the Packers aren't good. Aaron Rodgers isn't good this season. They have no weapons. The Eagles should be favored by far more than 6.5. Get off this Packers high horse and respect the teams that need to be respected this season. The Green Bay Packers are not one of them. This should be a double-digit spread. Okay, now that I got that off my chest. The Eagles are -6.5, and I'm just going to preview this right off the jump. Give me the Eagles -6.5 with complete ease. Look, the Eagles over their last 2 games, some of the luster has come off this team. Some of the shine isn't as there. They're not as shiny. They're not as fun. Well, that's because they've turned the ball over a little bit. Over the last 2 games, they've had 6 turnovers. In the first 8 games of the season, they had 8 turnovers. They took care of the football, averaging 1 turnover a game. Over the last 2 games, they've averaged 3 turnovers per game, and that's not a recipe for success. But the good news for the Eagles is they were able to come back against the Colts last week and pick up that win. Week before, they were really close to taking down Washington, but the Commanders with Taylor Heineke are not the Commanders of Carson Wentz, so we got to give that win a little bit of respect to the Commanders and give the Eagles a little bit of slack for that one. The Packers, on the other hand, are terrible. They've lost 6 of their last 7. Green Bay's not performed this season, and essentially to have any shot at making the playoffs, they need to win out. If they lose this game, that they are out of it. And let's be honest, even if they went out, they have the cards stacked against them in this deck. The NFC West is stacked, and they're the 3rd best team in the NFC North. I'd argue the Lions are better than them. It's the Vikings, Lions, then the Packers in the NFC North. Philadelphia, like I said, they need to protect the ball to win this game, but they're going up against a Green Bay Packers defense that don't turn you over a lot. They have a negative turnover margin this season. They're 12th in pass DVOA. They're 29th in rush DVOA. Green Bay overall 20th in defensive DVOA when you factor everything in. But you might be sitting there, well, that's good news. They're going to stop the run. They're going to stop the pass. No, they're not, because Philadelphia likes to run the football. They run it at one of the highest clips in the NFL, 26 attempts per game. They average 4.6 yards per attempt, and they're the sixth best team in the NFL when it comes down to rush yards per game. So they are going to absolutely gash a Green Bay Packers defense that can't stop the run. They're one of the worst teams in the NFL in stopping the run when you look at advanced metrics. Green Bay is going to get demolished in this game. Philadelphia is going to run the ball so much, so all over this front seven of Green Bay that it's going to open up passing lanes. They're going to have to bring extra guys in from the secondary in order to just slow down this run, and then Green Bay will be incapable of covering A.J. Brown, unable to cover Devontae Smith, and Jalen Hurts will have easy throwing lanes and will pick them apart start to finish. Philadelphia needs to win by just a touchdown to cover. Eagles get a win by a touchdown, and they win this game. And because of that, I'm all over Philadelphia minus 6.5 with complete ease. I don't see a way the Packers can keep this one even a little bit close. They don't do anything in particularly well on the offensive side of the ball. Defensively, they've been completely underwhelming. We all expected this to be a top 5 defense in the NFL, and they have not been that. They're the 20th best unit in the NFL, according to DVOA. Philadelphia, on the other hand, an absolute surprise. They're sitting at 9-1. This team's legit, and I think they're going to run all over Green Bay and win by a touchdown or two and easily cover this spread. It's a shame that the Eagles are minus 6.5. If we look over here under the line movements too, the public, well, they're all over Green Bay. They're all over Philadelphia at 57.5. This line has been fluctuating between 6.5 and 7. And now it is settling on minus 6.5 as we are a few hours away from kickoff here tonight at 8:20 p.m. Our computers like the Eagles to win, but not enough to cover. So if you want to follow the computers, go Green Bay. But if you want to follow your gut and you've been watching the NFL this season, you know the Eagles are the better team. You look at advanced metrics, you know the Eagles have the recipe to destroy the Green Bay Packers today. Green Bay Packers, like I said, have lost 6 of their last 7 and are really close to losing 7 of their last 7. So before we get up on out of here, let's do a quick best bets recap. We're on Rams plus 15.5 against the Chiefs. The total is so low. It's such a large spread. When you get one of those, I always got to go underdog. And plus, I just don't see the Chiefs winning by 16 points or more. The Chiefs can win by 2 touchdowns, but even by a 2-touchdown win, you're not covering. So garbage time might be what does the Chiefs in covering this game. Eagles minus 6.5 versus Packers. You just heard me talk about it. Give me Eagles minus 6.5. So thank you so much for tuning in to DRF Daily. DRF Sportsbooks betting live stream coming at you each and every day that there is football on, or at least we try to. Until tomorrow, we're going to be breaking down Monday Night Football, giving out some player props and best bets. Have a profitable Sunday. We'll talk again tomorrow.